And my personal favourite, Scott commented, last night was a movie. And then this other guy commented and goes, his hair was brown when he started that anecdote.
It's all off. My favourite comment and I see under like TikToks is just tough watch.
Yeah.
It's so straight to the bone.
Yeah.
Here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack. Welcome back, talking shit, I'm drinking wine, like and subscribe. Here's the crack.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast.
Get psyched.
Get
What was that?
psyched. Let's go.
You're
recording. I'm recording.
What?
We're getting jumping straight in. No messing around. We'll get straight into the first segment of today's podcast, which is the notorious Tommy's question time.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time.
Do you prefer working from home or working in the office?
Working in the office. It's way better.
Have you ever worked from home?
Yeah. I did over lockdown a bit. Can't get fuck all done, like.
Yeah.
It's awkward whenever you're working in an office with other people trying to communicate with them, like. It's a whole big thing with like setting up a fucking Zoom call and shit where
don't talk.
you could literally just turn around to them if you're in the office and be like, here, what's the crack here? Conversation, 2 minutes, bang bang, done.
Exactly.
Whereas all like send someone an email, oh, you free to chat at said time.
That's what you
Type.
type.
Kind
And it's
regards, Shay.
It takes a good 10 minutes to write an email, like, even if it's only one line long. Like.
Yeah. Do you think though you find it because the company you work for is quite, well, from what I gather, it's quite small.
Yeah.
And like rural.
Yeah.
Would that be right? Yeah.
You're used to being in contact. Like,
It's no,
It
like
just works
everywhere.
out the back of someone's shed.
no, like it does seem to me quite like a sort of wee, like sort of family run business. So I suppose like people like that are notorious for a bit like, oh, I don't know, I prefer everybody in the office because I can keep an eye on them and make sure they're working.
But it's not even like that with us because my boss doesn't even really be down with us.
So you just get to do what you want.
Yeah, but I work with another girl, but like she's more senior than me, so like if I need anything, like I'd ask her like questions.
Is it just to do if he's in the office?
Yeah.
So I'll not be wild awkward. Eh?
No, it's good out crackling.
Why would it be awkward?
I don't know. Like the last place I worked in definitely wasn't as big as like what the place I'm working in now. There was like 3 or 4 of us in the office, so sometimes the crack was just not. Not that you should be going to work for the crack, like, but at the same time, it just sometimes was a wee bit dull.
It's called work because you work, not crack.
Work no
'Cause you
play.
crack.
Yeah.
All work no play.
I'm interested to get your opinion on this because you went from like a year of working from home to now you're like you
Yeah.
that brought up some dark memories for all of us. You went from like a year of working from home to now you're like hybrid.
Yeah.
So hybrid, yes. Is that not what they
I
call
know,
it?
I know
I'm
it
half
is.
man, half car.
That's exactly what I thought.
So what was that transition like for you?
I think at the start I liked it as like, you know, this because like I went from like basically working, doing the whole MK fitness thing and then like labouring and stuff to like then working in the office, which is like working from home where you're just sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
And at the start you're like, this is class. Like this is like you can do, like, not that you can do whatever you want, but like there is that thing of like as long as you're getting your work done,
Yeah.
like there's nobody really watching you know, you don't have to be doing something, if that makes sense.
Feel more free.
Like I remember when I interviewed for, like when I basically got offered the job, your guy was like, as long as you get your work done, he's like, I don't care what else you're doing, he's like, as long as it's getting done. But then it's like, I think it's like exactly what Shay said, is it's when you need help and when you need help with something and like you're messaging people on like Slack or Teams and they're just not getting back to you, and it just got to that stage. And then it was just like, it's also when you're for a load of work to do, so like the longer I was in the job, the bigger my workload got, and like it was just like there was nights I was working on to 9-10 o'clock, and like you don't switch off because you're in your fucking house. And I think as well as that is because I don't have like an office in the flat, like my desk's in the bedroom, so like you're sort of you don't really turn off, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even the new job I'm in now, like I was chatting to a girl and like you basically have the option of like you can work from home Monday and Friday, and like most people do, but she was like, I just come in every day because she's like, I like to just separate
Work from
home. And I was like, that's so true. But it is just that, like, even like there's been times like since I started this job, it's like if you need something, you just literally turn around and ask. Like my manager sits like behind me, like if another boy's high up sits right behind me as well, and it's like it's so easy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's no like avoiding it. Like even if someone is busy, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll help you out in like 5 minutes. It's not like there would have been days where I would have been like asking, oh, I don't know, can you show me how to do this? Or like, oh, I need a hand this, and you don't get a reply at all.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, why is that not done? And I'm like,
yeah. I know for me at the time, whenever I started that new job of mine, like a lot of my team were in like Portsmouth and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a different, like, it's so weird because for like 3 months I was talking to people on Teams, so I felt like I was kind of like knew them. And then whenever I went over and actually went into the office in England, it was like, I don't know these people.
Did you know who was who? Like,
yeah, I knew who was who because it was on like Teams calls and stuff with them.
Yeah.
But like even whenever I first arrived, I was standing at the elevator waiting to go up and like I work in Belfast, so it's like I knew the people who were in my office before, but whenever I started my new job, like within that company, it was more like people over in Portsmouth, people over, you know, working abroad, working in England and even further afield, and it was like I don't feel like I'm connected to these people at all.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you feel like any of them were different whenever you met them in
A
real
bit
life?
more awkward. I remember
Big Zoom personalities, but
yeah,
not real life
I
personalities?
remember I was kind of sitting waiting on an elevator one day to go up to the office, and it was like my first day in the office in England.
Yeah, you're good in an elevator now.
And crap in an elevator. And I was sitting waiting, this
You
guy
thrive
was sort of behind me, and I remember looking over, but like whenever he was working, he had always his glasses on and stuff, but he didn't have his glasses on. I didn't really know him, and then he was like, "Are you Ross?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I'm whatever." And I was like, "Oh my word!" Like I was on with him like pretty much once or twice every other day.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what's the crack, lad? And all. And I think you just build a better like relationship with someone. Because I know whenever the first time I met him, he was wearing a pair of Yeezys, and I was like, oh, them trainers are sick. And he was like, yeah, I collect trainers. And I was like, that's class.
You're
Like, you know what I mean?
I love you.
Yeah.
But I think it is like the social interaction as well. It's like I just got to the stage where you're just so isolated. You're just like, this is shit.
But would you say before lockdown, like if someone had to said to you, if you have the option to work from home, you'd have fucking jumped at the opportunity?
Yeah.
I don't think it was until everyone experienced lockdown till they got that realization of how lonely it is just being at home all the
It's so
time.
funny you say that though, because I didn't work from home over lockdown. My first stint with working from home was whenever I got the job at the place I'm in now. Like I obviously worked in Carphone, and right before, like a week before Boris announced the lockdown, they let everybody go.
Yeah.
And then 5 weeks went by, we got uni over and done with, and like it was a godsend for uni because you were able to do open book exams and stuff. But then at the same time, I then got thick, found a job close to me, and it was like in a rural, like agriculture. It was proper like agricultural, like manufacturing and stuff. And I was working in the office there doing sales, and it was like, no, we don't work from home. Like you have to come in. And even over like the second lockdown, like we were in, they were just basically like, oh, you know, you've seen all the new restrictions, just make sure you keep away from each other. And we're like, no one's going to do that.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, but then
But that's, I think it is down to like the way the business is run as well. Like I know, like you sort of said there, it's like people like to keep an eye on you.
yeah,
But like in the job I'm in now, I don't feel like
No,
I'm in the office, and I
same.
don't feel like, oh, you're in there so people can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, as long as you're getting your work done, like
Yeah.
it's
I must admit, working from home at the minute is like good for me because obviously we're looking at houses and stuff. So like we're able to, if I'm working from home, I'm able to go and do a viewing at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
and I'll set that I'm out of office. But like it's quite good for me to like manage my workload as well, because there's some days I'll log on, if I'm working from home, I'll log on at like 7:45 and I'll work till like 4.
You'll not be saying that whenever you have a house. You'll be looking at any opportunity to get out of it.
Yeah.
Help me.
But at the same time, like I've noticed recently, I've started coming up to the office more because I'm just so much more productive.
Yeah.
I think with so much going on in like personal life, like house and all that there, it's good to go up to the office because you get to detach from that and you're just solely focusing on work.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think like I think like a mixture. Like I think what I have is ideal.
Yeah.
Like I'm really happy because it's like you don't really have that like Monday, like
Yeah.
that Sunday night. You're not like, oh, do you
Monday
know?
blues.
and then Friday it's sort of like you almost feel like the Thursday or like the weekend's beginning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like some jobs work at home and others don't. Like I know, like mine wouldn't, like because it's like sort of software
Would it
based.
not, like?
No, it's like, well, it could do, but like it's sort of software based. So like you're using a program all the time, which is AutoCAD, and like say I'm doing something and it's like I need to know like a certain command or something like that. I could like jump on the like internet and start looking up how to get this command or do this thing, but I could spend like an hour or two doing that. Whereas if you're in an office, you just turn around to whoever's with you and be like,
Yeah.
how do you do this? And it's done in 2 seconds. Though.
Yeah.
I think it just depends. Like I think there is like, especially like when you have kids and stuff, like it'd be so handy if you could like realistically no one's gonna say anything if you're away for half an hour at 3 o'clock to lift your kids. Do you know what I mean?
You just know though some people do take the mic. Like I've definitely noticed whenever I change role and you're more like needing people, like straight away if I see someone's available on Teams, I'll message and I'll maybe not get a reply for like 25 minutes, or else you'll see someone, they've just messaged you and then you'll ring them and they don't pick up, or like you ring them and it rings for like 15 seconds and then they'll pick up, but they're like kind of and you're like, what were you doing? But then it's like, as well as that, masturbation. But then as well as that, it's one of them things as well where like it's happened to me before where I'll like go make myself a cup of coffee, or like if I start work at 8 and like
goes to Starbucks half an hour down there.
If I start work at 8 and then like mum and dad or something get up and they're having coffee or something, like I'll go up and chat to them for like 15-20 minutes, and then like I'll still be available on Teams at like 10, and someone will ring me and I'll be like, oh crap, like, do you know, but then I'm starting at 8, do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm logging on at 9 and then being like 9:30, I must go grab a cup of tea here for 20 minutes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's good to have that good level of a balance.
But I sort of think as well is like the type of person that will do fuck all at home, are they going to be any different in an office? Like?
Oh yeah, there's people who come into the office and they just want to gape about and distract people all day. Like, it's just,
why are you looking at me?
I don't know, just was looking at you.
Sure, you just work out in a fucking shed.
It's literally cows and all walking around our office.
You go out and milk the cows at lunchtime and all. But yeah, no, I think it's a good mix. I even knew whenever I first started that job, it was all the time from home, and I racked, like after 3 months I was not in the office. Like I only met someone from that company after 3 months, and it racked my head. And I feel like it's really hard to explain until you actually go through it. Like, and then whenever you got your job and was just after 3 months, you were just like, it's just so crap because like you're messaging people and they're not getting back, and you're just sitting in your room all day. And it's like then you actually look at it and you're like, you get up at 8:30, work from 9 to 5, and then you're back in your room again at like 10. You've spent the majority of your life in your bedroom.
I think that was it for me. And then like I think the communication is just, there's such a breakdown in communication. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
people who want to get stuff done at home can't get it done because of other people.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, lessons learned.
Lessons learned. Tell us if you see a clip of this in the comments, or if you're looking on YouTube, send us a wee message. What do you prefer? Why? It's always handy to know the whys. And speaking of correspondence, I think this leads nicely into our main topic, which is this week, which is stag do's. If this is your first time logging on, or like logging on, listening to this podcast,
have you just plugged in your dial-up router?
If this is your first time,
tell your dad to get off the phone because it's your turn on the internet this evening.
Mom, I want to watch videos. If this is your first time listening, watching the podcast, a couple of weeks ago we had a brief discussion on stag do's with the topic of myself getting engaged, and I know Thomas and Shay have been flat out trying to plan my stag do, which they haven't told me anything about yet, which is slightly concerning. But yeah, we posted up a clip from that podcast a few weeks ago, and we'll insert the clip now. We went on the stag do, and we had this thing called a stag bag, which was every time we were in the pub, someone went stag bag.
No, they didn't.
And like we had to bring out challenges, and the stag had to do the challenges, which was like, so we were doing like fake tattoos in the pub and on his face and stuff. But like he got such a scunner, and after the night, where like anytime he was like, if anybody mentioned stag bag, like I genuinely, it sends a cold shiver, because like by this time we yelled out stag bag, like he pulled out a card and it was like a chalk pop, a shot of like tequila or something.
Yeah.
So he was, anytime someone said stag bag, he was like, oh no. So So you don't have
to wait
pre-pause.
till it's over.
Ross just stops for 30 seconds.
Thanks, Ross. Anyway, so we posted that
just,
clip
like,
up.
sat on a timer and you're like,
So
okay.
so we posted that clip up, and it's so funny because I think people thought it was my stag, but it wasn't.
Oh, but I think
It
people
got some abuse,
assumed,
like.
people assumed that we all went as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, like that was such a shit stag.
Yeah.
So basically, like, we posted it, and it was like Ross was like, talking about this whole stag bag idea that they'd on the stag,
Yeah.
and I sort of reacted as if like, surely not.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the comments was like, oh my god, that's shit.
So
Yeah.
a few comments to read out, which I thought were quite.
Right, go.
What a story that was. Sounds absolutely wild. Can't wait to tell my wife Margaret this story. Fair play for having a tequila shot on a stag do. And a temporary
Stop there.
tattoo. Oh no. Mate, I can't believe you made it through the night. Not where I thought this story was going. This was a tough watch. And my personal favourite, well, Scott commented, last night was a movie. And then this other guy commented and goes, his hair was brown when he started that anecdote.
I laughed at that. My favourite comment, and I see under like TikToks, is just tough watch.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so straight to the bone.
Yeah. But yeah, a couple of other ones. This sounds like serious crack, lads. Sounds like an after party conversation
I was a
with
bit
some boy.
annoyed that we were brought into this. Like,
Yeah.
like what the fuck? Like?
Yeah. So
Like, can we ask whose idea was the stag bag? Like?
so basically we
And
went.
was it like a proper, like,
No,
what did the
no,
bag
so-
look like? Was it like a,
Oh, like
I remember, like,
It was
I
a
sort
bag.
of imagine it like one of those, like, you know, the brown potato bags, like they're made out of like fabric.
Yeah.
The
So-
woven bags.
like we'd went on the stag, and like, to be fair, the guy who's getting married, he's not like a part, and I don't think it's this bad thing, like he's just not a party person, do you know what I mean?
He's a
So
virgin.
we went out during we
Saving
went out,
himself for
each to
marriage.
their own. We went out during the day and like done co-steering and stuff, and then we obviously went to Derry that night and went out. But like, I think one of the guys, he's a bit older, he was like, oh, I've got this thing, it's a stag bag. And I was like, what? And then he walked into the room and he had this like thing, and on the side of it he'd spray painted in a stencil stag bag.
I feel like he's went on to Google and be
Yeah.
like, things to do on
But
stag
like,
do.
it was, I don't know, like, I think
You were definitely like, lad, that's such a good idea.
Let's go. Yeah.
You're like, I'm
But at the same
psyched.
time, it was quite funny as well, because like we were in, it was just, it kind of, you know, I look at it and I'm like, you could have just went to the pub and drank the whole night and that would have been fine, but like it just added a bit of kind of, and like everybody in the pub was pure like, what the hell are you doing and all, and like it was just a bit of crack, like, but clearly some people were like, that's, or as one person described it as, shanter. So there you go. So which has led on to this main topic that we want to talk about this week and get more in depth about the whole thing. I think we'll start off, I have looked on the deep dark web and I have found some ideas.
So you've basically realised how shit that stag was, and you've done some research on that, how to do a good
So
stag.
I don't think personally, from my opinion, it was crap. I had a good night and it was good crack. Do you know what I mean?
Fight me.
And so, but at the same time, I was like, kind of made me question. I was like, apart from like, you always see when you go out in Belfast, like we were out doing the thing with that brand we were working with, and whenever we were walking down, there was like a stag outside Bittle's bar,
Yeah.
and like they were just drinking, and the guy had a veil on,
Yeah.
and it's like, right, okay, you're just going out drinking. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of got me thinking, like, apart from going out in Belfast and stuff, what other things could you do? So I looked it up. So there's a few activities which I thought were a wee bit like, well, I didn't know that.
Are
was a
these
thing.
like activities?
Yeah.
Or? Right, go.
So one of the activities was an activity called Car Smash, which basically
right.
your stag party indulge in some destruction with car smash. So basically you pay a company, they give you a car, and I'm assuming it's not like on the road, it's in like a racetrack or something, but you just get to destroy a car in any way you see fit. So like they give you bats and stuff. I think
But
it's
you're
quite
not actually driving it, are you?
well, I don't know, because I looked into it and they were like, any way you please. So I'm thinking, like, realistically, unless they allow you to like drive into something, but like that's risky, like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know there's places where you can go to now, it's like one of them frustration rooms, and they just give you a bat and a pile of breakable items and go ham. So I think it's kind of something like that.
Yeah.
There was another one I saw which I was like, that actually does sound like good crack. It's called the prison experience, right? So there is an activity where you can take your stag to do the extreme to the extreme with a prison experience at a former Russian military base, right? So basically, like, you go and like get locked in a prison and stuff, and like have to do like a full like overnighter. Like you can drink and stuff, but like you have to do a full prison experience.
Right.
So I don't know whether you get locked. It didn't give you much detail. It was very vague, which I thought was a wee bit dodgy, because it's like,
Oh no.
imagine like you
don't come back.
Ross, class, I've booked us into a Russian prison experience. Me and you all fly out to Russia. Not that you would be doing that at the minute, but like, and then you just ran up and some flipping madman just like, yes, come into this former Russian prison and spend the night.
Next thing you're in the Russian army.
Yeah.
Turns out they've signed you up to fight against Ukraine. You're driving a tank hunt.
They're just like, oh yeah,
That's only a bit of
sign
crack.
these
Yeah, just
papers,
say
don't
it.
you?
Yeah, you're on BBC News that night. Like,
This isn't real. It's
I
all
was just
virtual
on the
reality.
stag
like,
and I'm here.
I just got drunk. I don't know what happened. For other people out there, if you're a bit sort of into your not comics, like into your movies and stuff, there's you can take your stag, if they're into that, on a Jedi training experience.
Oh Jesus, Ross! Come on.
So you basically like can take this. You can take the stag to go get trained by quote Jedi masters on the art of wielding the lightsaber. If you took me on that, I would be raging.
You'd love that. You'd love that.
I feel like then the stereotypical one is paintballing and airsofting.
Yeah.
But there is places where you can proper go and do it like properly.
There's people who would really be into that, like
Yeah.
that Jedi shit and all that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Who'd love to wield a wee lightsaber for a day.
Yeah. Then there's their classic experience, such as hiring a dwarf. So there is
I can't believe people do
yeah.
that one.
So if you
What do
want,
you think of that though? Like,
I think you'd be fucking raging.
you'd be fuming
like I would be fucking like I would be like, no.
you couldn't
like,
enjoy yourself. Like.
Do you want to be funny? It'd be funny for about 10 minutes,
Yeah.
but then the realisation of what has happened will kick in and
Yeah.
you're like, look,
Is that
lads.
not even humiliating for the dwarf? Like,
yeah.
I know, but
Like-
they're obviously getting paid bags to get to it. Like.
I know. Like,
So if you want to make
Let's
your
imagine like, oh, him coming back. He's like, oh yeah, I got a job today. What are you doing? Oh, you know, we'll just show up at a stag days and get chalk up to someone.
for a few hours,
awful,
you can
like.
hire a dwarf and your small companion is handcuffed to you, and he will be there whether the stag is at the bar, on the dance floor, or even at the toilet.
I just
he will
after
go with
realising.
you wherever.
If you
no
need a
fair.
shit, like.
Oh my god.
he's coming into the cubicle with you, like.
Oh no.
Well, lad, busy the night.
Throw us the tire. Oh, there, lad.
And you're gonna have to do everything in one hand, like, because the other one's attached to
Right
him, like.
enough, yeah.
Like, you're gonna pull trousers all day.
But like,
and
I'm even
wiping
thinking.
all- him, you sitting wiping away, like jacking it and all. Him right there, like. It's a clean.
Stay it up.
Second opinion,
The
lad.
thing is, what I had thought about was like, imagine, even taking the fact like the whole dwarf thing out of it. Imagine I rocked up if you were having a stag do, and I turned around and I went, oh, you know what we're gonna do tonight, and handcuffed him to you. Like, it would be funny for the first hour because
Yeah.
they're both handcuffed together, but after a while, it doesn't matter who it was. You'd be a bit like,
I don't think it would
I
be. I
can't-
don't think that would be as bad, and especially if you're getting drinking, it'd sort of be a bit funny. But it would just
Yeah.
get to the stage where you're like,
Yeah.
right, come on,
Like, you don't even know this person. Like.
yeah.
no.
But yeah, that was there is another one which I thought was just really weird. It's called, it's a bit like the prison one. It's called the asylum experience,
Right.
right? So they basically say it's a horror, you love this, it's a horror survival experience,
Yeah.
and it's a 50-50 possibility you'll make out alive. So
Sure.
right,
What?
safety briefing wise, if you sign your stag up to this, right, you have to go in and sign a waiver on arrival to do this asylum experience.
Fuck off.
And there are some places which in the terms and conditions it says that you're signing to say that you accept, it says that you're happy enough if you get bitten by the inmates, it's not our fault.
What?
So I don't know, I think this is probably just to freak people out, but then you receive a safety kit, and like before you go in they allow you to text your loved ones and be like, oh, goodbye and all this here. You'll split into groups of 4 or 6 and take part in basic training, learn the combat techniques to deal with criminally insane and the undead, and take on 3 missions, such as clearance, containment, and search and destroy. So basically, you go into a mental asylum, and basically, if you ever watched it sounded very much like, have you ever played the game, what do you call it, where you go in, you're the reporter, and you go into the insane asylum? Oh, what's it called?
What is it, like a PlayStation game?
Yeah, it's like a computer game.
Need for Speed?
No, yeah, Super Mario. But you go in, it's like a asylum, and you basically go in, you're this news reporter, and you have to go into this asylum.
Right.
And like you're basically completing all these missions, but like you're being chased around the place by all these like criminally insane people. Do you ever see like the horror houses on TikTok?
Yeah.
And like people chase you? It's a bit like that.
But do you not think that's the whole, like, all that stuff's probably just to like sort of set the tone and make you think it's gonna be really scary, you know, but building it up. Like.
There are horror houses that you can book to go into, and they'll give you like a full torture experience and all that there. Like you have to sign waivers and all, and if you make it through
torture.
If you make it through like the weekend, they give you like £10,000 or something. There is stuff like that in America that exists. Would you do that?
Yeah, because you know you're not gonna die. Like, you know, like,
you're not
the worst thing that's gonna happen, you're gonna get injured, like you might hurt your arm or something, like.
Yeah,
like you're not gonna die, like, so all you have to do is sitting around for a weekend, like.
The last one, which I think is a more stereotypical lads, jelly wrestling in Prague.
That sounds shit.
So basically, you hire a strip club, and basically you are assigned 2 topless wrestlers.
All right. I thought you meant like all the lads fucking wrestling each other.
So you're assigned 2 topless wrestlers, and basically you get into a pool of jelly, and the nervous groom has to continue then to wrestle.
I'm assuming it's a woman, like.
Yeah. So they've also attached this picture.
Oh, wow.
Of this man caked in jelly. And this woman pure grabbing him by the throat.
Him chiseled. Get too many graves that look like that. Like.
But that was some of the stag experiences which I found on the deep dark parts of the internet.
You could you'd end up going to that one with the stag who just gets way into it too much, and then he starts dacking the fucking girl. That'd be a bit of a mess.
Break someone's neck.
Proper, like.
Look, right, we do it. It's in Prague. We go to me and you look round. Shay's got her in an arm bar.
Fucking rest me.
It's like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights. So break it.
Shay's like, throw me the chair, bang. You're like, what? But yeah, that's some of the experiences I found.
Break it, Pepe Le Pew.
So yeah, obviously.
Oh no.
Where does the stag bag fit into that? I don't know.
Stag bag could be reinvented, so it could be like the extreme stag bag.
You could do like an extreme version of it.
Stag bag.
Give me some ideas, like.
Yeah.
Some ideas that you could put in the bag, like a massive 10-incher. Do you have to go about and staple it to your head or something? Like shit like that.
Probably if it was like more, I suppose like the point people were probably making on TikTok was the stuff in the bag was pretty shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do a shot at the stag bag. You're
You're such a bold boy.
So moving on, me and Shay have been organising Ross's stag, and we've been looking where's the best places to go, and I've done a bit of research, and we're going to go through some of the top places abroad, like maybe top 5 abroad, top 5 in Ireland. So this website, like the way they've laid this out is so funny, right? So number 1 is Prague or however the fuck you said.
Yeah.
It starts off cheapness. Booze prices in Prague are very reasonable compared to the UK. It costs just over £1 for a pint and about £3 plus for a drinking mixer. Right? Then it goes things to do.
Yes, please.
And it's like, besides great sites like Prague Castle and Old Town Square,
you're not going to go fucking sightseeing.
There are daytime activities aplenty in Prague. There are and then it goes, you can sail down the attractive, I don't even know, river and watch the world go by on a strip ship. If you're a potential Rambo, then try out AK-47 shooting.
Like proper?
Yeah. And then in brackets it goes, there are other cool easy like weapons available for extra as well.
Would you like to do something like that?
I just think I'll be sick.
AK-47.
So you carried away. Like.
Now it gets better.
What's
So
a strip ship? Is
I
that?
think it's pretty self-explanatory. Ross.
Think about it.
I could just imagine showing up in Prague and they're all going to like the guide being like, so like, what is a strip ship?
What are we stripping the ship? Is there something wrong with it? Yeah.
And then it goes on nightlife. Nightlife action in Prague is centered around Old Town. There's plenty to choose, probably too much. So we'd recommend booking a Prague bar guide for at least one of your nights. Also, the Maga Club Karlovy Lausanne opens till 5 a.m, which has everything from disco to house classics on 5 floors. And then the last one is Babes.
Just babes.
The ladies are smoking here. You'll do a few double takes. But pulling aside, if you're on a look, don't touch weekend. The Prague has a lot to offer. Book a toddy tour and see hot babes take their clothes off for reasonable prices.
That sounds so awkward.
Oh no. For reasonable prices.
Fiver. Okay, that's a glove. Like not fiver for you. No.
You want me to take shoe off?
So
Put an extra £2.
Prague's number 1. Number 2 is Budapest. And it goes, so cheapness for this one, cheaper than Prague. A pint will set you back just under £1.
Get away. No, surely them places are rough. Like, surely.
I don't think
if you're going
Budapest
out
is
and
rough.
drinking for £1,
That's the sort of place where the toilets, but they're holes in the floor and
Yeah.
the shit stand up. Like.
I think Budapest is meant to be nice. Things
I want to
that-
find out how
I don't
factual
know.
this information is about pints. Like,
Things to do. Like Prague, Budapest is bisected into Buda and Pest by a river, the mighty Danube.
I did not know that.
Danube. So do you agree? It's
knowledge.
so to get a real sense of the city, you should book a trip. Aside from all the crazy shooting activities, paintballing and airsoft, something unique to Budapest.
That's just like there's loads of shooting. It's dangerous, but it's good crack.
Something unique to Budapest is Arnie's Commando Shootout. All you budding action heroes have to try it. It goes nightlife. Nightlife is centered around District 5 on downtown Pest. Book a Budapest bar crawl, and one of our guides will navigate the huge array of bars and pubs. A ruined pub, Zimpla is the most famous, would be high on your list for things to do while in Budapest. And then we've got Babes again.
Babes.
Budapest used to be known as the Paris of the East, and it hasn't yet shed the reputation for sin. It has some crazy VIP style strip clubs full of Hungarian honeys, plenty of eye candy, and sophisticated rock star clubs.
Nice.
Sophisticated women.
Love it. And then 3 is
Babes.
3 is
I think that needs to go on the soundboard. Babes. No. No. Like, we need to record this and be like, babes.
So number 3 is Krakow.
Oh.
You were there.
Yeah. I was there in the winter though. It was fucking freezing.
Hi. It's just all fucking pinty nips in the winter.
We'll find out. A pint in Krakow might set you back around 150.
Is this true?
Krakow was cheap enough, I think, but I can't really remember.
God, surely you'd be going out and
I
getting
don't-
wrecked every night looking at
I
your
don't,
bank account.
I don't remember being
£29.
Fuck, this is so cheap though.
I'd be like going out in a student night in Belfast back in 2016.
Yeah.
And then it goes, food and drink are both pretty cheap here, so generally you won't feel scammed even in the touristy areas. I'm going to skip the things to do because it's a bit of shit for them.
Sort your stuff out, Krakow.
Nightlife.
Krakow.
Krakow
No
is,
crack
is
there.
a student town with a population of around 120,000, swelling the numbers during term time.
Sweaty students. Looking sweaty.
And lots of students means one
Stuff.
thing: cheap booze,
Pootangs.
cheap booze and great parties. There are tons of bars and clubs to choose from in the city, winding medieval streets. Babes.
Oops.
If you want to see really crazy strip shows, in Krakow is the place for you. To make sure you see the hottest Polish girls.
It sounds like an autumn porn up. Hot
And
Polish girls near
they
you.
are so very hot there. And a safe and fun setting. Book our toddy tour.
It sounds like
Party
it sounds
Polish
like-
nuts once you're cut.
Sounds like you went on a website to watch stream football. And up Bob's like,
You click on it.
This is
Awesome
literally
Polish
like,
people
I
in
literally
here.
typed in like best places to go on a stag do, and this was like the first site I clicked.
my
And it's so
God.
good. Amsterdam is number 4.
for obvious reasons.
On
It's
average,
dear, though.
Amsterdam is probably closer to London in terms of booze prices. A pint here
Yeah.
can set you back between £3 and £5. Not cheap, but there are happy hour style deals to be had. Nightlife, 3 words: red light district. The arena alone makes Amsterdam a top stag do destination, but there is so more to the Dam than a city of sin. It is packed with a wide range of cool clubs and bars to get your groove on in. Book our red light district bar crawl. Babes. The Dam has
Babes.
a huge number of strip
Babes.
clubs and sack shows for you to enjoy. The red light area, of course, is where most of the action takes place. Book our live porn evening to sample some of the best.
Nah.
That's like one of them shows where 2 people just get up on the stage and fuck.
Actually,
Yeah.
No.
We went to one. Like.
yeah.
No, I didn't really.
You need for a
so
performance.
awkward. Like. You're playing like.
Of guest performers all the way from Armagh.
Give him a round, Will. One round of applause.
Shay coming out with a player fit jersey. Rip it off!
What accent's that? Fucking Jamaican in Amsterdam. So I'll do 5 here. So the 5th is Barcelona.
No.
Shay is being up.
PTSD. The things aren't that cheap in Barcelona compared with our Eastern European
No.
pints prices are similar to Amsterdam on average between £3+ and £5. Nightlife, Barcelona nightlife is centred around Gothic area and Elborn. There you will find a number of cafes, bars and night spots that cater to all music tastes. This is a town made for night owls. The locals like to start late and finish early.
That's what she
And
said.
then this city is packed with hot Latin babes who'll make you wish you were single. If you want to go on one of the best and see some of the crazy erotic shows, then come to Baghdad for a live show you won't easily forget.
Baghdad is in fucking Baghdad. Is it a country?
I don't know.
In Afghanistan? Beside.
No.
It must be in fucking...
Yeah. We went past some of the clubs in Barcelona whenever we were there, and they seemed borderline fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Just
gothic and all.
slick
Yeah.
men, like just with their grease back hair and leather jackets walking about. Like you could tell
Sleazy
they were on the
ways,
prime.
yeah.
Yeah. It was fucking weird. Like maybe if like, and why would a man even want to go to that? Like, but if you were a woman going to that, like I think it would be fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just seems like it's full of creeps. So
What was it like in comparison to Ireland?
Well,
Northern Ireland, like what? Well,
I'll
obviously,
go through the top 5 of Ireland, will I?
I'm intrigued to hear.
So
the
number
babes
1,
section.
Number one,
it's not the same website, so it'll not have that.
Bundoran,
babes, Bundoran.
Funny,
babes.
mate.
You can see Deirdre there. We're top off.
She's got her tits and they're covered in sand. She was down at the beach today. She had the swimsuit on and she pissed on it.
Have you like a girl that's good with a hurl on her hand?
She's
Number
the
one,
fastest woman to get away from jellyfish in South Armagh. You'd swear she was brought up on the beach.
She'd be a mermaid if anything else.
number 1, Carrick on Shannon.
It's-
If her tail wasn't coming out the front of her, you'd say she was a mermaid.
What is happening? Carrick and Shannon was number 1, and it goes, don't let the beautiful scenery fool you. Carrick and Shannon is well on its way to becoming the Magaluf of the West. What? Who writes this? Situated in the heart of lovely Leitrim, Carrick and Shannon has long held a reputation as a stag and hen mecca, and famous for its busting club and pub scene. Carrick also boasts an array of exciting indoor and outdoor activities to please even the pickiest groom / bridezilla. Number 2, Limerick. Limerick City is the crack capital of Ireland's Midwest. The area has a colourful medieval history, having been conquered by the Vikings in the 9th century. So the city is well equipped for your stag / hen invasion.
Wow.
Number 3 is Carlingford.
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot. Like a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people.
Carlingford's
say-
that place where everyone goes. Is it Easter week?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never been, but apparently it's just like a row of like old pubs.
Yeah, it is. And apparently, like, they close like proper early as well.
Yeah, we head to like a nightclub after though. Like that's how early it
Is
is.
there a nightclub in Carlingford?
Like you get a bus to like Cookstown or something. Like.
Fuck. Then Carlingford is a must-do for any adventurous stag/hens in Ireland. While this beauty of a town has much to offer in terms of sightseeing, history, hotels, restaurants, it also offers a wide range of outdoor pursuits that will challenge the most competitive of stag/hens.
Would you say you're going to be a competitive hen? Stag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, Sligo. Move over, Yeats. Sligo was quickly developing a reputation as a fond favourite for stag/hens, looking for something a bit out of the ordinary. Known as the Vegas of the West.
Oh, Jesus
Sligo
Christ.
town is a diverse nightlife that offers everything from classic pub trad sessions to drum and bass sets.
How is that anything to do with Vegas? Like, is,
Where,
like, casinos in fucking Sligo? Like? I highly
Well,
doubt
there-
it.
there are
Like.
a lot of people
Slots,
wouldn't say there is casinos like there is any there.
Slots more
A few
like
slot machines.
fucking slots underneath cattle in a cattle house. Like.
And number 5, Bundoran.
Shut the fuck
Sorry.
up. No.
Bundoran.
No, how is Bundoran? Bundoran's where you
Lad,
fucking...
Oh,
Go as a
and then it goes,
child.
beautiful Bundoran, located along the wild Atlantic Way. This coastal town isn't nicknamed Fundorn for nothing.
Oh my
Right.
god.
The scenic Donegal
me.
town boasts extraordinary beaches that surfers have flocked to for decades. Why not try your luck at surfing the legendary white waters with one of the Bundoran's many surf schools? This town also has a selection of late night pubs and clubs where locals
What?
and tourists alike can throw shapes to dance and house music. If
Dancing, fucking dance. More like Daniel O'Donnell. like.
there is a nightclub in Bundoran because I've been to it.
Seriously.
Sort of fuck. I've
Oh,
been
You've
like
been
twice.
to a nightclub
Yeah.
and
They just play.
how did this occur?
Back like in high school, me and like a few of my mates went down to Bundoran and there was a fucking nightclub on it.
Oh my
What was it like?
It was actually good.
What was the babes like?
There was babes on it, to be fair.
They just play Daniel O'Donnell remixes.
No,
like.
it was proper nightclub. Like,
Nah,
It was
where,
good, like.
where in Bundoran?
and
is
then me
this,
and Brona went down to Bundoran with our ones. Like
Yeah.
we'd only been going out a couple of months, so, and me and her just went to the nightclub on our own.
like? No babes.
No babes.
No babes that night.
I was the only babe that night. But yeah, that's that
quite
wrapped
the
up.
list.
So Bundoran for your stag,
I
Ross?
can't understand why fucking like Belfast is surely a better shit than most of those places.
Derry.
Derry,
I'll see. I'll look here. and see.
even Dublin, like
Numbers.
Or Cork.
There was 10, so I'll just quickly go through the rest of them.
they seem
Number 6 was Kilkenny. Number
no clue.
number 7 was Galway. Galway was
Galway
good.
would be good.
Yeah.
Our score is 6, but like
Yeah,
everyone's
it
around it.
is
Like.
good. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying to Brona. Is like if I were to go down south again, I'd love to go. I'd rather go somewhere like that
Yeah,
where there's not as many pubs, but they're all in the same place. Whereas
Yeah.
like Dublin is fucking too
it's
big.
too
Like,
sparse. Like
I
everyone's
guess,
just
and
everywhere.
you're
like.
fucking walking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then Cork is 8. Mullingar was 9. And number 10 was Dublin.
Belfast should be in there somewhere. I think.
I
Cathedral
think
Quarter.
Belfast would be. Is
The
like,
past few times we've been to Derry have been some crack.
Derry
Derry's
is
been good.
very good. Like I
Some crack.
would love to go back to
But
Derry.
then I
soon.
think is it because maybe because we haven't saw a lot of Derry, we were just in the city.
No more in Derry jersey, you know.
There definitely wasn't as much
Let's go
as
Derry.
Belfast in terms of pubs and stuff. But exactly what you were saying with Galway, like, is that a good thing?
But I feel like I like Derry or like it's just like pubs. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's not
Yeah.
trying to be like nightclubs. There's like
Yeah.
I've been to a nightclub in Derry before. Like, but I was back when I was a student. Huh?
So obviously, like, we haven't been on any mad stag do's, and
Yeah.
So
Jagbag boy.
you were tasked in preparation for this podcast to go and look at a few stories. Maybe time for one or two. Of
There'll be no Ross's rants today.
times
Of
whenever
4.
stags went a little bit wrong, or what did you find?
I have 4 here, but I'm not going to get time for all of them. There's a short, I'll do a short one, long one. Alright, so this one's just weird. Well, I used to work in a strip club, and one night a bachelor party came in, only for some reason the girlfriends were with them. I guess maybe so they could keep an eye on them or something. Anyways,
strange.
the night.
That's destined for failure
I
already.
know. Anyway, the night entailed entirely of the bachelors being brought up on stage, while all the dancers rubbed their tits in their faces, and the groom's fiance sat in the back and cried with her friends.
Fuck off.
Just fucked
Actually,
up. Like, first of all, why are they bringing?
what is your thoughts on that?
That's just fucking weird.
Like, what
why-
is your thoughts on, like, I feel like people do that though, like the stag and the hens go on like the same place in the same weekend, but it's like a separate thing, if that makes sense.
Who decided that we should all go together to a strip club?
A strip club is a bad idea.
Yeah, that
from
was
the
just
start.
destined
Like.
for failure. Like,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it'd be different if it was like male strippers as well, but like it's
But
obviously that
then
the
what
fucking
is
grooms
like
are just-
who like you know the situation, like
Yeah.
the women are there. You don't go to a fucking strip club, like.
yeah, that's just
Like that is just never gonna end.
Just
well.
a no-no,
And then
like.
don't be getting on stage. Like what
you
is
can
happening?
fool yourself. Like. You can an absolute fool yourself.
keep going.
Bad move.
And I'll do 2 more. Right. So the worst stag do was one as a barman that I was witness to. There was a group of about 10 to 11 already drunken men arrived, started on the shots of vodka and beers. After about 30 minutes, the groom was wasted and we cut them all off. So they leave. About 4 hours later, when we were cleaning up, me and another dude go to dump the glass bottles into the recycling wheelie bin. When we hear a soft moaning, the groom was in the glass bin, bleeding badly since his mates had dumped him in there so they could carry on drinking. Like obviously he was in a bad way, so they just dumped him in the fucking bin,
Seriously,
not realising it was a glass bin.
Oh my god.
So they dumped him in the bin to carry on drinking. An ambulance was called, the groomsmen were all arrested and were charged with assault. It was all on CCTV. I don't know how many stitches the groom needed, but it would have been in the hundreds for sure.
Seriously,
His face was a lot like Jigsaw when the Punisher was smashing his face into the mirror.
Oh
That's a
my-
bad act. Like,
That's bad.
like,
crack, like.
fair enough. Like if he was fucked and you leave him somewhere like just safe, like
But you
fucking him
just
in a
take him
glass
home
bin,
and come
like.
back
No
out.
man, no man left behind. Like, no man left behind.
You know, eh?
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you got absolutely wasted, you'd be going, right, get him a taxi, take him back
And
to the
yeah,
hotel,
it's
and
more
come back.
effort to put him in the fucking glass
100%.
bin than it
Yeah.
is to
If
put him in a
everybody was
taxi.
steaming, they're probably like,
Probably didn't realise.
just chuck him in here. But like, surely you would have heard if what average meal weight's probably like 80 kilo, bang
Yeah.
in the glass. You're probably here, lad. That didn't sound
In
like
fairness,
a
though,
cushioned landing.
if you were well on and the groom was fucked and you seen a bin, it would probably seem like a good idea if you knew there wasn't any glass in it, like, because you would know, like, oh, he's not going anywhere, like, we'll leave him in here.
I know, but surely they would have heard it when they threw
I know,
him
that's
in.
just ridiculous.
Do you know
like.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And then he's probably like rolling about and all in it because he was fucked.
scummy doing, hey?
Bad act,
Scummy doing that, like.
Alright, I'll do one more then. This is quite long. Alright, a few years back, we were on a stag party to Vegas. Well, that was the initial plan. 2 days before, there was a knock on the stag's door with a man standing there saying, I can't let you marry the fiance. We're having an affair. So Vegas was cancelled, almost. Rather than cancelling it, we decided to go ahead with the trip, eat a pile of things that weren't exactly food. Anyway, during this, it was Halloween. So us being from Ireland, we would dress up as leprechauns. We had some crack making our way up the strip from Caesar's Palace to New York. We had all agreed to meet at a pub called Nine Fine Irishmen. So eventually a group of around 20 leprechauns congregated outside this pub. On our way to the pub, we ran into a group of English lads who also had a stag do, who were also on a stag do. They were dressed up in red coats, so like old British soldier uniforms. So there was a bit of a moment of silence and realisation, which is then followed by a bit of handbags, so they started fighting. Suddenly the security rolls in, the English lads are asked to leave. Meanwhile, the boy playing the music in the Irish bar was from Donegal, started to belt out, go on home British soldiers.
Oh no.
So there's 20 leprechauns are leaping about like they'd won the Battle of the Boyne. All in great night's crack. Our antics gained us a bit of attention, and one lad managed to get lucky when he came home from the bar with a girl. The next morning he was met by a red coat from the bar from the night before. In the girls' hotel room the next day. The both lads exchanged nods and swiftly exited the girls' hotel room, running in opposite directions down the corridor. We had planned to stay for 4 nights, but left on the third. Things just got a little too out of hand. The next few days were rough. It took me about a full week to recover from this.
Jesus.
We going to Vegas? Could happen, like.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Where'd they go?
Vegas.
Imagine going to Vegas, not happening. The
No,
last
it's
place you'd think it would happen.
Yeah.
I know.
That's mad.
Would you like to go to Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I go. I wave the white flag at this stage. I think I don't have the choice in the matter. Like.
No surrender.
What side would I pick? But yeah,
Right now, like, oh, that's what we should do for your dress you up as a leprechaun. Like.
Anyway, let us know if you have any sort of stag do experiences, any mad ones, any recommendations for around Ireland. Hit us up because we are looking.
Hit us up.
Yeah, DM us or whatever. Leave a comment on the video. We'll end the podcast here with a little 5 minutes of Ross's rants. So my topic for this week was in Tesco the other day.
Right.
Parked the car. There was a woman unpacking her shopping in the back of the car. This was probably about 7 in the evening, so it wasn't that busy.
Oh my god.
But what did she do with the trolley?
Well,
Just flung it into the parking space next to her.
just
drove off. And it was a really simple thing that I saw, but for some reason I was just like, what a dick. Just like,
Did you go over and say something? Or? Shit.
no. Because what I actually did was, she drove off, I went over, grabbed the trolley and brought it to like the door and like put it in like the thing.
You're
I
so
was just like,
good.
Upstanding citizen.
But like,
What a guy.
it was, I mean, there was probably about a 20-second walk from the car to the door. And I'm just like why, what puts you in a position where like someone has to, like, I know and some people will be like, well, it's their job to go and collect trolleys. But it's like, yeah, but why be a dick about the whole thing?
It's
Like, there's
leaving it
trolley
in a
beer.
car parking
Yeah.
space as well. Like, if someone needed a space,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to get out and move that.
But as well as that, you
Dick
know,
move.
it's Northern Ireland as well. Like, it's not exactly the best weather and stuff. So like, all it takes is a gust of wind. Your car's parked in that car park. It goes.
Yeah.
The trolley goes for a wee seal, bang into the side of the car. Like.
Was there a pound
Yeah.
in it?
Huh?
Was there a pound in it?
I don't
Trolley.
know.
Do you leave it back in? And take a
No,
pound out
there
of
was
it?
no. It doesn't. There's no
That's
like.
fucking-
The
You're
only
the sort of guy who goes
No.
around
The only-
spying for fucking people who didn't leave back
They
the
don't-
trolleys.
they don't do
taking them
that.
back and getting the pound.
They don't do that in there.
You know.
Yeah, but I just thought to myself, like, what a Trumpy doing? Like, what would you like if? So say you and Bruno went shopping the night, right? She turns around, brings the trolley out, starts loading it in the car. You're sitting you're getting the driver's seat, turn the engine on, get the car all warm for her and all, and you look out, and she just goes. Would you be like?
She wouldn't do that though.
I know, but hypothetically speaking,
I don't know. Like. I would just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd get out and get it. Like.
I'd be pissed. Like. I'd be pissed.
it's just
I'd
that. It's
go
just
with
such
that
a
back
small.
now.
It's
Would
just
you?
such a
Yeah.
small thing that I think is just so massively like disrespectful.
It's
that you're
hard to
just like,
imagine because I couldn't see it happening.
yeah. But like, it's like, don't get me wrong, if it's pissing down with rain or something, it would probably go through your head where you're just like, if I just leave this here, like. But then I wouldn't have, like, I'd get back in the car and go, nah, because I tell you what will happen, a gust of wind will come, they'll go hit a car, they'll look back in CCTV and they'll
Freaking
get
out.
me.
Oh
I'll
my
be,
God,
you know what I
they're
mean?
not gonna come
I'd be
arrest you for
I'd
leaving
be-
your trolley,
I'd be pure
like.
overthinking it. I just don't know. When I seen it, I was a wee bit like Trump. But
There is signs in car parks that says if you do leave your car, it's
if you leave your trolley,
what is it?
If you
park
leave-
here,
yeah, you're liable for any
Liable.
damages. Yeah.
But
But anyway,
technically it would be their fault.
yeah, just thought I'd bring it up. But apart from that, that's the end of that podcast. Again, if you've got any stories, anything like that, please send it in. Apart from that, we'll speak to you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.